The opinions expressed on ACB Media are those of the content creator and should not be assumed to reflect product endorsements or the views of the American Council of the Blind, its elected officials, or its staff.
Welcome, everybody, to Mindfulness, Merlot, and Marathons. And how did I even come up with that? Well, I got to meet with our guest last week and learned a little bit about her, and I think that those kind of summed her up a little bit. So I am just so delighted. First of all, I'm Cindy Hollis, and it is just such a pleasure to be able to introduce one of our newest, not one of, our newest staff member to ACB, and that is Caitlin Lee. And what is your title at ACB?
Yeah, I'm the new development officer.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to get to know you, Caitlin.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Can't wait. Yeah, so excited.
There's a lot going on and a lot happening for you, I know, coming up, but we're not going to get to that right away, okay?
Okay.
So your trip, that's on hold for a few minutes, okay?
All right. All right. We'll get to it.
We're going to talk about other stuff.
Amazing.
So, yeah, I bet, because right now your whole life is around marathons, I'm sure. But
Yes.
we're gonna talk about other stuff. So, I want to know a little bit about Caitlin. Where did you grow up? Where were you raised?
Yeah, so I'm originally from Philly, and I grew up in Northeast Philly and the suburbs of Philly. So that's where I went to high school in Bucks County. And then I went to the University of Maryland, go Terps. And I lived in the DC area for several years. And then I actually have been living in New York, in Brooklyn, for the last 18, almost 19 years. Yeah.
All right, but you're planning a move soon, right?
I am, yeah. I'm making a move to the lovely state of Massachusetts. I have to learn all about, I guess, the Red Sox and
Oh, sorry.
so yeah, I mean, but it's beautiful here. So yeah.
So do you follow sports, team sports?
I mostly follow the WNBA, and then as a running fan, I follow my favorite runners and track athletes, so which are a little more obscure. But yeah, a little sometimes, if I'm not, I don't mind going to a game. I did go to a Red Sox game. My first Fenway experience was this summer. It was actually at the Disability Pride game, which was really
Okay.
cool, and I got a Red Sox jersey, and it had Braille on it, which was
Oh
cool.
my gosh,
Yeah,
that is pretty awesome.
yeah,
I
yeah.
still don't
So
know that I could wear a Red Sox jersey, but that's
I
great for
I know you're
you.
judging me. I know you're judging me, but yeah.
So you are visually impaired, right?
I
Uh,
am, yeah.
so what is the
So
cause of your vision?
yeah,
Yeah.
so I have Stargardt disease. So I was diagnosed when I was in high school. So it's a genetic disease that affects the retina, and it's degenerative. And yeah, so I became legally blind at that time. And so I've been, yeah, most of my life at this point have been legally blind. And yeah.
And when
Mhm.
you went to
Mhm.
college, Maryland,
Mhm.
what did you say,
Mhm.
Maryland University or
University
Maryland
of Maryland. Yep.
University of Maryland? Sorry.
Mhm.
What did you get your degree in?
Yeah, I got a double degree in English and women's studies.
Okay,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
and now you're doing
Mhm.
fundraising.
Yeah. That's what happens when
It
you get
is,
an
yeah.
English degree. Yeah. Yeah.
uh, so, what did you do on your employment journey before coming to ACB?
Yeah, so I've had such a varied journey. So after college, well, I guess in college, I started practicing yoga and I got really into it. And so shortly after finishing school, I started my yoga journey. So I started working at a yoga studio. And during that time, I got my yoga teacher certification. It was pretty intensive. So, it was basically like 2 years of study to get the certification, and then I continued to study after that, and I love teaching. I taught when I lived in DC. I taught actually in yoga studios, but I also taught in federal office buildings. So I would come in during like lunch break or after work, and I taught at like the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration. I taught at the Department of Transportation. I taught at a lot of random offices. But it was really great to kind of get to see, yeah, to get to meet our, government employees. And then, yeah, I've taught yoga on and off. So that was 20 years ago that I became a certified yoga teacher.
Do you still do
And
that?
so sometimes I do. I mostly actually teach teens, and or I teach people on retreat, but I haven't been teaching a regular class at this point. Although maybe, yeah, maybe I will bring it
Yeah.
bring it back and teach more regularly. Maybe if there's interest, at ACB, I'd be happy to offer
I think we might want to
yoga.
talk sometime about
Yeah,
community,
it
maybe doing
could be a
something.
thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Uh,
Yeah.
all right,
And
so
then
that's one of them. So what
that's
else have you
one
done?
one of the
Yeah.
things. I've also spent a long time doing, working in cosmetics and retail, in fragrance, so all kinds of things. And then I
Oh,
became
wait,
a cer-
stop. I
oh
want to
yeah.
know about fragrance. I want to know
Oh
what do you
yeah.
have? Because I have
Yeah.
mine. So I have,
Mm.
yeah. So what is yours? What is your,
Oh my gosh.
yeah.
I
One. Just
love
pick one. I want
oh
one.
this is
Sorry.
crazy.
I
Okay,
know.
I think I'm into like the Henry Rose scents right now. That's something I discovered. And I also, there's like a Gucci fragrance that I like. But I worked for Fresh, and at the time, Fresh was doing a lot. I think they're no more now for like skincare, but they were doing a lot of fragrances when I worked there.
Did you say
Um,
Henry Rose?
yeah.
So what kind of fragrance is that? What is the
They do all kinds of things. I like, they have one that's like a sandalwood vanilla. Yeah.
Okay.
What's your scent? What's
Michael
your
Kors.
Oh, nice. Which
Yeah.
one?
So the original, it's very
Huh?
Hawaiian smelling. Yeah,
Yes.
so I love that. There's a couple of the, I mean, I actually have about 6 bottles,
Mhm.
but the one I always go back to is the original. So,
Mm.
yeah. Mhm.
I had to stop wearing fragrance for a while because of the other thing that I got really
Oh, yes.
interested
So
in, which is wine, which part of the time, the Merlot, the wine.
yes.
So when I
Yeah.
was studying, I got certifications through the Wine and Spirits Education Trust. And when I was doing that, and taking wine more seriously, they recommend that you don't wear any fragrance so that you can, smell the wine and taste it better and all this other stuff. But I was so sad because I really missed fragrance. So now I don't care anymore, and I
So
just,
what have you
yeah.
done with that certification? What,
Yeah,
in the
so I
past,
used to
like,
do, yeah, wine education events. I lived, like I said, in New York, or I live in New York, and I yeah, I was doing wine education events, and I did some wine consulting, and yeah, I really got pretty I was able to spend a lot of time actually in 2020, during the lockdown, doing getting those certifications, because yeah, I had more time. All
time?
of
Yeah.
the marathons got canceled, and I had time to focus on my other interests. So, yeah.
And so what is your favorite wine?
Oh, wow. This is so hard. I would say I really like French wines. I like wines from like the Loire Valley. I mean, we're kind of coming up on a fun season, Beaujolais season, which is like a nice, like lighter red wine. So, and this is like the harvest time for that is coming up soon. So there's a thing where people drink new Beaujolais wines, and yeah,
I just
I'm
like
a
that word,
fan.
Beaujolais. I like that
Beaujolais. It's
word.
just fun to
Yeah.
say.
It is. It is. I don't know what it is, but
Yeah.
I just like the word. So, all
Yeah.
right. So, what was your job before coming to ACB?
Yeah, so I've done so many things, but I would say my most relevant nonprofit experience was
Yeah.
working. I worked for many years at New York Roadrunners. So that is the organization that puts on the New York City Marathon. And I was director of operations there. And yeah, I there's New York Governors has a pretty amazing community center called the Run Center, which is located right near Central Park. And yeah, during the time when I was working there, we were putting on events. So anything from, we had free seminars on running and panels and yoga classes and Pilates classes and nutrition talks. And did a big thing called RunnerCon, and the Run Center still continues to put on different events, and especially gearing up to marathon season. And so all those things are still happening. So I don't mean to say that they're not anymore, but yeah, it was an exciting time to be a part of it. And of course, yeah, putting organizing the New York City Marathon was a huge part of my role there. Yeah.
All right.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah.
in high school, were you into
Mhm.
any sports?
No. Okay, so here's
No.
the thing. My parents, when I was in junior high, made me do track, and I hated it. I hated running. I hated running so much.
Oh, this
And
is so funny.
yeah, I couldn't stand it. I was always so at the time my vision was better, and I was always reading and I always had my nose in a book. I did not care about running, and I would just like be zoned out. Then they would call me for my event and say I was running like the 200 meter or something like that. I would get up like reluctantly, like, okay, yeah, I guess I gotta run. Okay. And I was so used to like being slow and being the slow kid that like when other if there was another kid who was also slow, I would be like, go ahead, I got this. I'm used to coming in last. Where I know my place here. So my family was really shocked when later in life as an adult I got really into running. And then, now I've
Yeah.
run over 100 road races. I've run close to 50 half marathons. This will be well, it's kind of depending. This is kind of a story, but it's my 10th marathon, but it's sort of my ninth marathon, which I can talk about if you want. But yeah, so I've run a bunch of races at this point, and my family is completely shocked. Well, at this point, they're not shocked, but they were when I got into running, which I
When
guess
did you
now
run your
is
first marathon?
my first marathon was in 2012, and it was the DC marathon, which was in March. I remember it was like St. Patrick's Day weekend. And I remember I really wanted to beat this guy. He was in front of me. He was wearing a onesie that had like shamrocks and leprechauns all over it. And I was just like, no, like this guy cannot beat me. This is not, I'm pretty sure he did. He did beat me, but I was like, just competing against
You had
this
a
one guy the whole
motivation. That's
race.
good.
I was so motivated. Yeah, I was like, he cannot win. Yeah, it was fun. And then I ran another one that year. I was that in 2012, I was supposed to run the New York City Marathon, and then there was a big Hurricane Sandy hit the East Coast, and so they actually canceled the marathon for the first time that year, which was a huge deal. And so I didn't run it, but the Philadelphia Marathon, and I'm from Philly. They opened it up for people who wanted to run. They had enough spots, so I ran that, and it was great because yeah, my family was able to be there at the Philly Marathon and see me run, and yeah, it ended up being a really fun. I actually ended up running. Now I've run the Philly Marathon 3 times because I really, hometown, so you got to keep coming back.
So, Caitlin, for those of
Yeah.
us who don't really, we're not into running, we don't really know what a
I get it because
marathon
I
even
I used
is,
to hate it
right?
too. Yeah.
So, tell us what
Yeah.
what constitutes it being a marathon?
Yeah, good question. So a marathon is the distance of 26.2 miles. So I know sometimes I'm not even going to say it's wrong, but sometimes people will say, oh, it's a marathon when it's not the distance of 26.2, but that's technically a marathon is 26.2 miles. Yeah.
Okay, I'm just tired hearing that. Not, I might do the point 2 miles.
All right,
And
I'll take it. Yeah.
have you always? Okay, so do you have anybody helping you while you run? And have you
Yeah.
always had to have people help you? And how did you get into it? How did you start? What made you? You said you didn't like it when you were in
I
junior
hated it.
high. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what was the turning point for you?
Yeah, I think as a kid, I thought of myself as unathletic because I had this eye disease I didn't know I had. So when I was in, I think fifth grade or so, I was the only kid that was cut from the softball team. And it makes sense. I got hit directly in the face with the ball. And so they
Dear.
were probably like, this is dangerous. And now in retrospect, right, like, because I didn't see it, I couldn't see the ball. So of course I got hit in the face with it. So I think I just always was like, oh, I'm not athletic. I'm not able to do these things. And I grew up in a pretty athletic. I have three brothers, like they're athletes. So I just kind of was like, oh, I guess sports aren't for me. And then I think over time, like even though I hated doing track, I did get faster. And like I think I kind of I did have some natural athletic ability, but I was confused because I was like, I can't catch a ball. And then when I started doing yoga, I was like, oh, I like the physical aspect of this. And so it got me into shape. So when I started, like a friend was like, oh, will you run this 5K? I was like, okay, yeah, I'll run this 5K with you. And and I was really nervous because I had hated running as a kid. And I was like, I don't know. But then I was like, oh, running is actually like I'm in pretty good shape from the yoga. This isn't that bad. And then I ran it and I loved it. And I couldn't wait to sign up for something else. So I think also I didn't realize the energy of like running with other people, and also that it doesn't matter. Like I think I've learned so much over the years. Like now, running a marathon, walking a marathon, like however you're participating in a race like that, it really doesn't matter. And whether you're the first person to start or the last person to finish, like it doesn't matter. It's just like about doing it. And it's like the process of leading up to it. Like even I'm really excited because I am running a marathon this week and we'll talk about it. But I really love the process of just showing up and doing the training. And yeah, so I would say it's I really changed perspectives. I think when I was younger, I was like, oh, if I'm not good at it right away, then I'm never going to get good at it. And now I can, see, oh, okay, if I put in effort, I put in training, then I can improve and get better. And like, yeah, I don't know. I'm only
And
competing against myself.
and how does your vision play into it? And
Oh yeah,
what kind
sorry.
of
Going
accommodations do
off.
you end up
Mhm.
needing,
So I
if any?
started, yeah, so I didn't working at a running organization, I always had people to run with. So my vision, like I said, is has changed over the years. And so when I first started running, I could run on my own. I would run in the morning, I would run in the evening. And then, when I was working with New York Roadrunners, I always had somebody to run with. And mostly I was running in Central Park. And for people who are familiar with New York, one nice thing about Central Park is there's no cars allowed. So you're never worried about getting hit by a car. But it can be kind of a chaotic place depending on the time of day in terms of bikes and just pedestrians in general. And it was actually not until 2020 that I realized, like during lockdown, that I my friends who I've been running with, thinking, oh, we're just running as friends, we're actually more like my guides. And so at that point, I started running with an organization called Achilles, and they're really amazing. They do running where they pair people with guides. And yeah, and so it was really cool to kind of get to train with them and experience running with them for the first time. And I honestly, I just took a couple years off of running, where I was running very little, where I would only run like a little bit on a treadmill or on a track because I realized that I could no, I mean, I can't see traffic lights. I had some near misses with bikes, and it was New York is busy. And so I really had to change how I was doing things. And that was a hard adjustment, but I'm grateful that I still can do that. And so if anybody is, wondering ways to get into running, if you are blind or visually impaired, or have low vision, I definitely recommend, either finding somebody who can understand or train as a guide, or if you live near an Achilles chapter, they're a great organization. I mean, there's other organizations I think as well, but one thing that I liked about them is that it is, I think there's some similarities really with like ACB in terms of it's an organization where everybody is a part of the community, and it's not an organization where, I guess I'm trying to be careful with the language, but I think sometimes an organization will say, we're doing this for you instead of with you.
Yes.
Yeah.
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 So very inclusive in their language.
Exactly. Yeah.
And we've had talks with Achilles, and uh,
Mm.
they did actually join in a community call a few years ago now. But I would love to get them back and talking at
Yeah.
least again. So that's really cool. So thanks for sharing
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
When you
Mhm.
said you've done now, you've done 9 or you've
Okay,
done 8?
so one my last so-called marathon was actually, it was longer than a marathon, but it wasn't. So I signed up for a race that was a 60K, which comes out to about 37 miles. So 11 more miles than a marathon. And I signed up on a whim because I was working at the time for New York Roadrunners, and this is just a part of their regular race schedule. They put it on a few weeks after the New York City Marathon. It's pretty small, it's in Central Park. And so I had not been training for a marathon. I was not prepared to do this race at all. And I just was, I don't know, I was just being foolish. I was just like, "Oh, I can do it." So I ran it, but I dropped out at mile 30. So I still had 7 more miles to go, and I didn't finish it. And at the time, I worked there, and this was in 2019. So I was like, I'll do it next year. But as we know, next year was 2020. And so that race didn't happen. There were no races happening. But also, they decided to discontinue the race. So it had been a race that had existed for a long time. And they decided, you know what, this is a kind of a crazy race to be putting on in Central Park. So it doesn't exist anymore.
So
But
let me clarify this. So
mhm,
you
yeah.
ran this 37, well, you
Well, I ran
entered
30 of the 37
the,
miles.
okay, but you don't count that as a marathon that you
Well, so
finished
that's the thing.
because,
I didn't finish the race, but I did. That's the longest I've ever,
but
or
you
the
did
farthest I've
over
ever run.
26.2. So,
So
okay,
are we counting it? Maybe we're counting it.
I'm
Like we count
counting
it,
it.
but okay.
I'm counting it. Don't be
We're counting it.
that overachiever. You know what I mean? Like, come on. Yeah.
Okay, we'll count it. We'll count
We're
it.
counting it. So you've
Yeah.
done 9 then already
So yes,
or
I've done nine
8?
already. Counting that one, I've done
Yes.
nine.
Okay,
Yeah.
we're counting
So
it. So
okay, this is
this one,
10.
this is 10. Okay, so
Yeah.
we're going to talk about it in a minute. I still don't want
Okay.
to talk
Okay.
about it quite
Okay.
yet.
Okay.
I
Sorry.
know you're excited, but and I am too.
Okay.
But I want to know what is the biggest known marathon you've
Mm.
done so far? And is there any bigger than like the
So the
Philly one
biggest,
or,
yeah, the New York City Marathon. So New York
Okay.
City, until this year, New York City was holding the record for the biggest marathon in the world with the most participants. But it was taken over this year by the London Marathon. So the London Marathon became the biggest marathon with the most participants. And actually, I did run the London Marathon in 2018. So I've run some of the biggest races. So London, and then yeah, so there's, and they were both amazing and incredible. And I actually feel like New York probably is going to reclaim the record of being the world's largest marathon again this year. So yeah.
All right, and did somebody then from Achilles run with you when you
So
did
no, all
that?
of my other races, since I didn't start running with them until 2020, and I haven't run a marathon since 2019, I haven't run with an Achilles guide. And actually, for this marathon that we're going to talk about in a few minutes, I'm not running with an Achilles guide, but I am running with a friend as part of a team. So
Okay.
yeah,
All
yeah.
right, let's talk about what kind of training goes into working up to a marathon. So you know you're
Mhm.
going to do a big marathon. Well, any of them are
Mhm.
big. They're all big.
Uh-huh.
They're 26.2 miles. That's big. I don't know.
Yes. Yeah.
Um, but how long does it take you? When do you start training for a marathon like that?
Yeah. So I'm also a running coach. So that's something that along the way, when I got really into running and into running marathons, I also got coaching certifications. But yeah, just to kind of throw out there. So I make my own plan and put together my own training. Although I think even if you're a coach, you can still benefit from a coach. I didn't mean to say that I'm above it. I'm definitely not above it. I love, and if anybody who has advice for me or recommendations, I'm open. I'm always listening. But yeah, I did an 18-week training plan, and the one thing about a marathon is you can't cram for it. You can't just decide, you have to put in work even before the actual training cycle begins. And basically, in the beginning, I had been injured last year. It was a training injury. So I was really careful and I wasn't running too much. I was only running maybe 2, sometimes 3 days a week in the beginning of the 18 weeks because I didn't want to get injured. And I was doing a lot of yoga. I was doing spin classes. I was doing strength training. So I was trying to become overall strong. And then now I can run, I'll run 6 days a week usually, but in the 18 weeks ago, I wasn't doing that. So yeah, it changes.
And so 18 weeks, we're talking like you started back in late April or early May to
I
train. Is
started
it?
May, but actually, so before this, I had done a 12-week training cycle where I ran a half marathon in May. So that wraps up, and then I started doing this 18-week thing. So I've kind of been training since the beginning of January in a way, to run this race because again I kind of took some time off running and I wasn't running super long distances, so that was also my first half marathon in 6 years. But thankfully, yeah, it went really well. It went kind of as I expected it to go, so I had like a really good base to know like where I was at and what I could, you know sort of set a goal against, for the marathon. So yeah, I've really kind of been training since February for this
And when
week.
you talk about
Mhm.
training, what
Mhm.
does that include? It's likely
Mhm.
not just running,
Running.
right? What
Yeah.
else does it include physically and
Yeah.
also
Mhm.
diet,
Mhm.
food?
Yeah. So yeah, so definitely for me it's been strength training. So like a typical week will look like I'll do um a speed workout. I'll do a long run. So, and the long run is usually, I guess, in the beginning of the cycle, I think it was about 8 miles, and then I worked my way up to 20 miles. So, for a marathon, you don't run the marathon before marathon day. You're only, well, some people do, but usually they're like pro runners. They're not normal folks like me. Uh, so yeah, but they say kind of after, basically if you're out there for more than 3 hours, you risk injury. So you don't really need to be like, the whole point is just to build up your stamina overall. And then some easy runs. And so that an easy run might, will be like shorter mileage, run at an easier pace. And then for me, I like to incorporate strength training, especially as I'm like getting older, realizing like how important it is to, not just run all the time. So yeah, last year I tried to come back into running by running too much, too soon, and I ended up with a stress fracture in my foot. And then I did no running, and I was really sad. So this time, my number one goal was to really just get to the start line healthy. And thankfully, yeah, I'm healthy and my body feels good and I don't have any injuries.
And
So
how does your
yeah.
diet change?
Oh, the diet. I don't think
Not too
too
much?
much about my diet. I try to eat my fruits and veggies all the time and hydrate and like, and especially for me, like when you're running a lot, it's important to eat carbs. So yeah, I think I generally eat pretty healthy, but also I don't change my diet too much during, I mean, maybe I should be eating healthier right now, but like I'm addicted to chocolate. So we're
All
not going
right,
crazy here. And
dark
yeah,
milk. What's your favorite chocolate?
both. Yeah, today I was eating some dark chocolate, but yeah, it's like, yeah, I'm not, white chocolate does not count. White chocolate is not
No,
a thing, but
I
yeah, we
agree
all know
with
that.
you.
I know you're
Yeah,
a fan of
yeah.
dark chocolate,
I am.
the
Yes,
fruit.
ma'am.
I was listening this
Yeah.
morning.
I typically
Yes.
like nuts in my chocolate, so
Same.
yeah. So
Hmm.
I'm not gonna really. I'm not gonna go for that brownie if it doesn't
Mm,
have nuts in it. So, which is
that's
great
fair.
because,
Yeah.
then I don't eat the brownie.
That's
But
understandable. Yeah.
yeah. So,
Yeah.
all right. So
Mhm.
let's talk about
Mhm.
this run. Kind of exciting here.
Yeah.
You are going to be running in the Berlin Marathon. So you're flying. You said you leave tomorrow night for Germany.
Yeah, so I
How
get in on
how long?
Thursday.
Okay, you get in Thursday. How
Yeah,
far
I have
ahead
a
are they?
long layover. I think 6 hours. Um,
6 hour layover where?
in Zurich.
So, oh my God.
Be hanging out the airport.
I
I got
hope
some
they.
audiobooks downloaded. I'm ready.
Oh my goodness gracious.
Yeah.
Okay. I hope they have comfortable chairs
Yep, same.
and maybe like a restaurant or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Um okay, and
Mhm.
so you'll get to Berlin on Thursday. What's
Hmm.
the time difference between here and there? Do you know?
Yeah, also 6 hours. Yeah, yeah.
It's 6 hours
So,
ahead of us right
mhm.
now?
Yeah,
Okay. All
yeah.
right, not that's not too bad.
No.
Um and when is the race?
So the race is on Sunday the 21st. And yeah, it's I guess the pros I think take off at, well, there's different there's like hand cycle and wheelchair chair athletes. I think they take off at 8:30 in Berlin time, German time, whatever, whatever that time zone is. And then there's other elite pros I think take off at like 9, and then I am going to be more in the middle of the pack at Berlin. So I my start time is at 10:10.
And
Yeah.
how many people are scheduled to race in this or run
It's
in this?
pretty big. Yeah, I think
I saw your
it's
bib number and I'm like, okay.
I know
It's like
it
a
can't
zip
match the
code,
bib
you
number.
guys. It's
Yeah,
like a
my
zip
bib
code.
number is like 65,000 something. So I don't know. Usually the bib numbers do correspond with what your finish is supposed to be. So I don't know this time because I think it's less than 50,000, I think. So unless they're really thinking I'm gonna be finishing on like Tuesday or something, I don't know.
All right,
I don't know.
that's a good question.
Yeah.
How long
Mhm.
do you expect it will take you
I'm
to
a little
finish
afraid
this
to say
race?
this in public to put up my goals, but I'm going to say it anyway. I'm going to be
Go
brave,
for
but
it. Yes.
I'm putting out my ambitious goal, which is to finish in under 4 hours. So, which
Wow.
I have for several other marathons. It's been a while since I've run one, and I'm older and whatever. So we'll see if I can still do that. And also, I didn't mention this, but I've run the Berlin Marathon before. I ran it in 2018, and it was way harder than I thought it was going to be. So Berlin is known as being like one of the flattest courses. So it's fast, but it's not downhill kind of fast. It's just like a really flat, fast course. And so the day I ran it, I had it was a hard race for me. I had really ambitious goals, and at mile 16 I kind of fell apart, and I think maybe my morale was like a little low, and I think hopefully I'm a little stronger mentally now than I was then. I'm older and wiser, so hopefully I'll yeah, I won't
I
be so
like
down
it.
on myself. Yeah. All the support of the ACB community behind me. Yeah, that I'll just remember that and won't give up. But I didn't give up, and I did well, but not at all what I wanted to do. I ran it in I think around 4 hours and 30 minutes, which was much slower than the previous year I had run like 3:52 marathon. So I was disappointed because I was so much slower than I had been the previous year.
Was that your fastest time, the 3:52?
Yeah, that was my fastest time. Yeah.
Okay.
So, but on the same day that I was having this really bad race, Ellie Kipchoge broke the world record for the fastest marathon ever, at that time. So, now other people have, since then, but he was having the best day ever. So I couldn't be like, oh no, it was just a bad day for marathons. Like somebody was having the best day ever.
There's always going to be someone that does
Having,
better, and
yeah,
it's all
yeah,
the spectrum, right? So
exactly. It's
somebody's
totally,
going to
yeah.
come over at the finish line first, and someone's going to come
Mhm.
over at last, and
Yeah.
and you're going to be
But
sandwiched likely in between.
exactly. And I think like I said, I'm so thrilled to just be healthy, to be able to run this marathon, to not be injured, to have the opportunity to go back to Berlin. Like there's so many things that I'm so excited and so happy about. So, it's the finish and whatever the time is really just kind of like all bonus. It's all going to be so much. I'm just really like I have a new perspective. I think before I was really like competitive with myself and maybe, secretly other people around me. And now I can just kind of like let go of that and enjoy the whole process and enjoy the run, enjoy being there.
And how long are you going to be gone for? So when will you come back?
Um, I am gonna be gone through next week. So I am doing that and then I'm actually going to a wedding in Michigan actually where you are. So yeah, so it's I'm coming back and then leaving again. It's gonna be a while. I don't know. I don't know when I'm gonna sleep, but I guess in
uh,
the Zurich airport.
yeah, I guess so. With 6 hour layover.
Yeah.
So you said you were in Germany in
Mhm.
2018. Did you
Yeah.
get to do anything touristy while you were there?
I did lots of touristy things when I was there and I really liked it. It was super it was really like lovely being in Berlin. So yeah, my first time there and I'm trying to remember. I honestly, what I'm most excited about with going back is I felt like last time I did go to a lot of museums, and this time I'm more looking forward to just like walking around the streets of Berlin and not worrying too much about like hitting the tourist attractions. So if anybody has recommendations of like places to eat or like cute streets to walk down or things like that, that's really what or
They have
parks.
really good chocolate in Germany,
Yes,
though. And
yes, yes.
I had a friend, well, it was a boyfriend at the time. He was in the army, he was in Germany, and he sent me these amazing chocolates, and they had like some sort of liquor in them, and they were so good. Um,
Amazing.
yeah,
Yes,
that was
love
from Germany.
that. Not good. Yeah, I wouldn't pass those. I mean, maybe not eating them like right before the
Yeah,
marathon, but
not right before.
after. Yeah,
No, yeah,
after. Yeah.
yeah. Um, so what about in London? You went to London, and what did you get to do
Yeah.
anything there that you like besides the race, of course, right?
Yeah.
That was great, but
I did a lot of like art things. I remember I went to the Tate Modern and I went to the British Museum and yeah, I ate a lot, I drank a lot. I had a good time in London. That's the only thing about traveling for a marathon. It's just that you want to see and do so much. So sometimes it's a little hard to focus on the marathon part. Whereas like running in Philly, I'm like, oh, okay, like it's not, I've been to Philly before, I don't need
yeah,
to
yeah.
do all the sightseeing. So it can be this time I'm like, okay, I'm excited to see things after, and I'm going to try and not try to pack in too many things before this race. So I feel rested beforehand.
So
So
you mentioned that you like to read and you've got books downloaded, you're ready to go. What kind
Mhm.
of books do you like to read?
I I really love reading a lot of different things. So my thing right now is trying to pair fiction books with nonfiction books. Not necessarily that they have the same theme, but sometimes. So I'm always kind of reading like, yeah, one fiction thing and one nonfiction thing. Actually, the book that I just downloaded is a story about the Berlin Olympics in like in the 1930s, and it's kind of intense. So it's nonfiction. It's called The Other Olympians. Um and yeah, so I just started it so I can report back, do a book report later. But yeah, I'm really interested in like in the Olympics and Paralympics and athletics and sports. And I went from being a kid who did not care at all to, yeah, I say that I'm not a huge sports fan, but I am. I'm such a big like when the Olympics, it's Olympic season, and when I meet people who are connected at all to the Olympics or Paralympics, I'm always so excited to talk to them about their experiences. And yeah. So that's, of course, I'm gonna want to read a book about yeah, the
Sure.
Berlin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. And now I'm curious about how would, and we, we actually included
Mhm.
this information in This Week in ACB when
Okay.
Michael and I did our little YouTube thingy at the beginning of the week. But do you want to tell people how they could keep track you?
Oh
And
yeah.
yeah,
Mhm.
so kind of
Mhm.
cool because, and I already downloaded the app. Just want
Oh,
you to
you
know
did?
that
Oh,
I
so
did.
cool.
It's like BMW
Uh-huh. Marathon.
Berlin
Yep.
Marathon 2025.
Yes.
Um,
Yes.
and it was the rating on it was like 4.3 something. And it said it's from Mika, but it's spelled Mika
Mhm.
timing. So if anybody wants to download that, I want to make sure you're downloading the right one because there are
Mhm.
other ones that kind of look like it. But
Mhm.
this is the one that's produced by Mika Timing. But they could
Were you
also.
able to find me in the tracking, or did you look
I didn't
yet?
even try
Mhm.
that
Okay.
yet.
Mhm. Yeah.
But
Mhm.
I thought your bid number was like 692 something. But
It's something in 65,000. I don't remember, but you can
okay,
also look me up
65.
by my
Your
name.
name.
Yeah.
So, and
Do me
Caitlin is
Mhm.
Caitlin and then
That's
Lee.
right. Yes, and
So,
Lee, Lee, yes.
yeah.
And
So,
I think I'm the only one, only Caitlin Lee, and also it says USA. So I'm not
perfect.
not running from any other country, just the USA.
Yeah. and then
Representing.
and then they also can watch live, right?
Yeah, so
Is,
you can stream. I mean, with I don't think camera's going to be on me. But if
yeah.
you want to stream it, I'm pretty sure you can stream it on YouTube. And there might be other ways as well to stream it. I don't know all of them, but
I
yeah,
also
I think
looked
if
on
you
YouTube and it also said BMW
yes.
Berlin Marathon. So for folks
Right.
that are checking it out that way, want
Mhm.
to make sure you're
Yeah.
following the right thing. But in the app, we can actually
Mhm.
follow you, right? Like
Yes.
they'll
Mhm.
let us know how you're doing, where you're
Yep.
at, kind of in the pack. Is
Yeah,
that
exactly.
yeah?
Yeah, there's
Oh,
even
that'll be
like there's a
exciting.
map. You can see where I am on the map. It's yeah. I mean, I don't know how, to be honest. I opened it and downloaded it, but I haven't played around. But I
Yeah, we
don't
don't know how
honestly know.
accessible it is,
I
right,
don't
or
know how
anything. Yeah.
accessible it is, or if it's accessible at all.
Yeah.
I don't know if we're gonna have some feedback for BMW
Yeah,
for
we might.
marathon,
Yeah.
but yeah. So I can't really speak to that, but hopefully it
Well, I
is,
can
and
honestly
yeah.
say to you, you are going to be 6 hours ahead. So
Mm-hmm.
some of us, it'll be the middle of the night when you
Yeah,
start.
it's
So we might
true.
just check
Mhm.
and see how you did when we
Afterwards.
wake up.
Totally. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Yeah.
uh, all right.
Yeah. Mhm.
I want
Mhm.
people to that are here to be
Mhm.
able to ask you questions if they would like,
Cool. Okay.
or maybe give you words of encouragement. So,
Oh,
Natalie, do we have any raised hands?
Yes. Angel.
All right, Angel.
First of all,
I
congratulations, Kaylin, that you're going to be part of
uh,
the marathon. And this is another important thing I'd like to mention. For
yeah.
those that will be watching on YouTube, will it be audio described?
Probably not, but we don't
Mm,
know that it is. I don't think so. We have not heard anything that it would be.
mm. It's a good question.
Thanks, Angel.
All right. Monica.
Hello, Caitlin. Nice to meet you.
Hi, Monica.
Um, my question is when you run, you said you're running with a team member. Do you
Mhm.
use anything on your arms to follow the person or do they run next to you or how does that work? And
Yeah.
congratulations. Good luck.
Oh, thank you, Monica. Yeah, so a lot of runners who are blind or visually impaired will run with a tether. So basically, it connects you to your guide, and also for marathons, usually a blind or visually impaired runner would have two guides. Um, I am just running with a friend, and this is somebody who, I've been running with for a long time, who's able to kind of just give me some cues, but so I don't use a tether, but that is like one way that people are able to run with a guide. And I actually even know, and I want to know more about this. So if anybody has information, pass along to me. But I've seen people before run with guide dogs, that's a
Yeah,
whole
actually,
other
the guide
thing.
dog
Yeah.
school that I got my
Mhm.
dog from, they
Mhm.
uh, they were the first school to train running dogs, running guides.
Wow. Cindy,
So
we need to talk
yeah,
about that more because I
yeah,
I think that's where that's
yeah.
yeah, I'm very
Let's
interested in
yeah,
that.
definitely let's talk.
Yeah.
And
Mhm.
then so is your vision such that you can
Mhm.
kind of you could see well enough to see spot people in front
Mhm.
of you and keep maybe an eye on your partner there and all of
Yeah,
that?
so
Yeah.
yeah, with my vision, I have blind spots in my central vision, but I have a lot of peripheral vision, which is great. So the reason in general that it's difficult for me to like run independently is because, like I said, I can't see traffic lights, or if something like the near misses that I've had with cars and bikes and strollers and whatever are usually things that are coming head on.
Yeah.
So that's the issue. But thankfully, in a marathon, everyone is running in the same direction. So,
Yeah.
so for me, it's that that's just my experience. But there's options, I guess, is what I'm trying to say for people who want to run or participate in a marathon. There's lots of options for how to do it. Yeah.
All right.
All right. Donna.
Well, here's another athletic person.
Hello, Caitlin. This is Donna
Hi,
Brown. We kind
Donna.
of met on the walk committee in August
Yes.
and RDC. Um, so I was a Paralympian in my younger days.
Ah, so cool.
Not anymore, but
What was your sport?
well, it's a long story, and
Mhm.
sometime we'll just have to talk. I started out with track,
Oh,
running,
yes.
long jump.
Mm.
But then when I got to college, it was, it got harder to find people to run with, and I have
Mm.
no vision at all.
Mhm.
So anyway, I kind of switched to swimming, and that was the rest of my Paralympic history was swimming.
Wow.
But then I had the opportunity as a, a more mature adult
Mhm. Mhm.
to do like uh, mini triathlons.
Oh,
Sprint
so cool.
triathlons is what
Hmm.
they call them. So it was like a
Yeah.
quarter-mile swim, I don't know, 8 to 12 mile bike ride and a
Donna, don't
5K
make it
run.
sound easy. It's intense.
Oh, I know. I know. But you were talking about
Yeah.
the flat
Mhm.
course, and
Mhm.
so the
Mhm.
last triathlon I did, the
Mhm.
5K course was really quite flat.
Mhm.
And well, and it was the same type of course for the cycling too. So you
Yeah.
didn't have any, while you didn't have any uphills, you also didn't
Yeah.
have any downhills to
Yeah,
rest.
yeah.
Exactly.
And
Yes,
and
exactly.
so one thinks
Mhm.
that shouldn't be a problem, but it is. And
Mhm.
and it's kind of
Mhm.
like swimming. Open water swimming's a whole different ball game than pool
Mhm.
swimming. When I
Mhm.
first got in that open water, I thought I didn't know how to swim anymore. Whew.
Oh,
Uh,
yeah, I bet.
so
Yeah.
anyway, uh, anyway, it's just really neat to hear your story, and it just for me brings back all kinds of memories. And I certainly wish you well this weekend.
Oh
Uh,
my. Thank you so much, Donna. I can't wait. We need to chat more. I want to hear
Oh,
like
I
all
did
about.
want to share, and I don't know if you know this person. She
Mhm.
lives in the Philadelphia area. She Pam McGonigal runs with a trained guide dog. Pam
Oh,
was
okay.
a Paralympic runner
Okay. Okay. I
back in
don't
my
know her,
day.
but that's, yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
That's cool.
but she got a dog from, which is it, Cindy? Guiding
Guiding
Eyes?
eyes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so that's how she runs. I think, has some vision, but not enough to, you know,
Hmm.
really be
Hmm.
safe to run.
Hmm.
So anyway,
All
Yeah.
right.
but
Good to know. Thank you.
yeah,
Thanks, Donna. Thanks for
yeah,
being here.
yeah.
All right. Nora.
Yeah, hi, Caitlin. It's great to meet you, and
Hi,
I'm
Nora.
hoping that hi, it's great to meet you, and I wish you the best of luck in Berlin with your marathon. And my question is, that website, it was kind of hard to hear. How do you get to it to keep track on you?
So it's an app that you would need to download from the App Store, Nora. And if you put in
Oh, okay.
BMW Berlin Marathon, it'll come up.
Okay, P like in
Now, B
Paul,
as in boy,
or
It
B?
like the car.
yeah, like a BMW
Oh, yeah.
Berlin Marathon. I don't know what the
Okay.
W is for. Like, woo!
Okay. Oh, okay. Is it
That's what it is for me.
capitalized or? Oh, okay.
All right, Nora, if you need any help, just reach out to Community Hun, okay?
Mhm.
Okay, thank you.
All right, thank
Mm-hmm.
you.
You're welcome.
Mhm.
All right. You are clear.
All right.
Thank you.
And so I just want to learn just a little bit more about this marathon thing and like what kind of charge what does it cost to be able to run in a marathon? Is there a waiting
Hmm.
list,
Hmm.
to do so?
Yeah.
Yeah, so how do you qualify?
Totally. Yeah. Okay. So, for this marathon, there are time qualifiers. Those people are running a very fast time, and then obviously there's also an elite field, so professional runners who are running this as well. But there's also a field that's open to everyone. So I did not qualify because I'm fast. I got in through a lottery, and so for Berlin, they actually have a couple of ways you can enter as an individual or you can enter as a team. And the first time I ran it, I actually had the opportunity to run it because I was working for New York Road Runners, and through my employment there, I was able to get into this rate into the Berlin Marathon. But this time around, I got in through the lottery, and I had actually applied. I don't know if it was last year or 2 years ago, and I didn't get in because it's just a lottery. It's just random. And so I didn't
Yeah.
get in that time, but this time I did get in. And so, yeah, that's how I ended up running it. Um, it's kind of expensive. So this race, as well as there's a collection of races called the World Marathon Majors. So there are seven big races. So they include Berlin, London, New York, Boston, Chicago, Tokyo, and Sydney. So people try to run all of those races. It used to actually Sydney was just added, so it used to be 6 stars and now 7 stars. So people are trying to collect their medals and run these like prestigious races, and
Uh-huh.
it's yeah, it's a whole thing. So I had a goal. I thought I would try and do it before I was 50, but now that I'm getting closer to 50, I don't think it's gonna happen. But maybe, who knows? That's a
You
lot of
never
running.
know. You
You
never
never
know.
know. So yeah, as you heard, I already ran a few of those. So, am I gonna make it to Sydney before I'm 50? I don't know, but we'll see. But yeah,
Have you
so
done
those races.
Tokyo?
No, I haven't done Tokyo either. Yeah, right now I'm just setting my sights on the other ones in the US. So I really want to run Boston. I really want to run Chicago. Yeah, and
Okay.
hopefully I get to Tokyo and to Sydney too. But yeah, they're all kind of pricier. Like I think this marathon was close to $300. Typically, I don't know, the prices are really changing. When I first started running marathons, they were about $100. Some of them were a little cheaper. I think you still can find smaller marathons that are under 100, but these big marathons that are hard to get into are expensive, but it also makes sense because it's such a huge event and everything's expensive, right? To go to a concert
Sure.
or a game and get good tickets.
Well,
I
and that's
mean,
not even counting your flying to Germany,
yeah,
your
yeah. Hmm.
lodging, and all of that.
Hmm.
Do
It's
you
expensive,
do
yeah.
you get sponsorships or anything like that, or is that
I'm
this all
looking
on
if
you?
anybody wants to sponsor me. I mean, maybe now's
uh,
the time. Sponsor your favorite, yeah,
yeah.
your favorite
Yeah.
blind runner. And
Oh, that's great.
thanks for throwing that out there, Cindy. Yeah,
You bet. You know.
I'll take the money. So that's all I need to know.
Well, any final thoughts? I mean, you've been so delightful, and I can't believe this hour's almost gone. I didn't know if we would make it, but it's been so much fun.
I'm chatty. Yeah,
Ah, I
I'm
like it. So, any final thoughts that you'd like to share with like your ACB now, your ACB family?
I mean, mostly just to say I'm so excited and happy to be a part of ACB. I think one of the best things about ACB is the community. It's the fact that ACB is run and supported by its members. That this is an organization that is it's for us and by us.
Yes.
It's the community that is making this happen. I mean, Cindy, we had such a great talk about this
Yeah.
last week, and
Yeah.
so I'm really excited to be a part of that. This is what I was looking for when I was, searching for a new job. I really wanted to be in an organization just like ACB. So I'm thrilled to be here, and I can't wait. Like I hope that people reach out to me. If you want to, you can email me. But also, there's a since I'm working in development, you can also email just the email address donate@acb.org if you have any questions or you just want to chat, say hi. That's an easy one to remember, that email address. And I'm really excited to yeah, meet more people and be a part of this community. It's so special. It's really
Well,
amazing.
take care of yourself. Enjoy yourself. Enjoy the run, and enjoy Berlin, and just safe travels to you. And look forward to
Oh,
hearing how it all
yes.
goes. We might need to have
Thank
you back.
you. Oh my gosh, I would love to do a recap.
Yeah, we might want to do that. All right.
Yes.
Thanks, everybody,
Thank
and
you.
have a good
Thank
night
you,
and safe
Cindy.
travels.
Thank you. Have a good night, everyone.
Bye.
Closing the room. Have a good
Bye.
night.